If you have an iPhone, it can be kind of hard to stand out in a sea of iPhones. You can either jailbreak and change the icons on it, and that'll change what it looks like when you use it, or maybe you can go out and find a really cool case for it. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So what if you want something that's maybe a little more unique? Today, I'm going to show you how you can make the back of your iPhone 6 and 6 Plus actually light up like it does on a MacBook. Now, it should go without saying, but this tweak is not for the faint of heart and will probably void your warranty. Now, if you've had your phone for more than a year, your warranty is already expired, so no harm really there. But again, this tweak is not for the faint of heart, and you will be proceeding at your own risk. Now, with that out of the way, here's what you need to get started. First up, we're going to need the light kit itself, which comprises of an LED strip, some tape, some insulation, and a toolkit. You can get this kit by clicking the link below. Once your kit arrives in the mail, we're going to turn off our phone, and using the provided pentalobe screwdriver, we're going to remove the 2 screws from the bottom of the phone. After that, we're going to use the suction cup that came with the kit to stick to the screen. We're going to use this as leverage, and we're going to actually pull that and use the pry tool to get underneath the screen and then slowly separate it from the base. Now, when you pull this up, make sure that you pull it straight up, and you also don't pull it back too far to where you'll break the cables that are holding it to the motherboard. Now, this part is optional, but I'm going to show you how you can remove the screen to just make this a little easier. But if you want to give it a try without removing the screen, you can. It just means that you have to hold the screen up and make sure that it doesn't fall while doing all the other steps. So, to remove the screen, we're going to remove the 5 screws that hold down this metal plate. Then we're going to unconnect all of these connectors, and once that's done, we can separate the screen. Now, I always have a white piece of paper next to me when I do this, and I put the screws that I take out in the exact same order that I took them out, as you can see here. This just makes it a lot easier to put everything back together when you're done, as some of these screws are not all the same size. Next, we can remove this metal plate that holds in the battery connector down here at the bottom by undoing these 2 screws. Once that's done, we're going to pry up the connector in the same way we did for the screen, and we're going to remove the battery. Now, this is the most difficult part of this because for some reason Apple glues the crap out of this battery. So optionally, you can take a blow dryer to the back of the device. Make sure it doesn't get too hot, obviously, because you don't want to damage the internals, but this will sort of loosen the glue a little bit. But this is optional. You don't have to do this. It just might make it a little bit easier. Then we're going to flip the phone back over, and you can use, say, a butter knife like I'm using here, or one of the pry tools, something that's strong enough to get underneath this battery in order to separate it from that horrible glue that I mentioned earlier. Just be very careful not to puncture the battery while doing this, which is why I recommend something like a butter knife that's flatter as opposed to, say, one of the screwdrivers. But it's up to you. Just be careful when doing this. If you do break your battery, just throw it out, and you can actually click the link below to find a cheap replacement battery from Amazon. Okay, once you've separated the battery from the glue, you can peel out the rest of the glue, and this is what you're left with. Now we're going to take our pick that came with the toolkit, and we're going to just peel off the 2 pieces of tape that are holding in the metal Apple logo. Once that's done, we need to pry this out of here. So we're going to use our flat screwdriver that came with the kit and slowly and carefully kind of pry this up until we can just peel it away. And then you're going to want to save this in case you ever want to undo this. You can put this back in. Then we're going to take the LED that came with the kit, and we're going to put that on to where the Apple logo once sat. And you can flip the phone over and see that this will actually sit inside of that, and you want to make sure that it's kind of flush before you continue. Once you're happy with the placement, you're going to take the same 2 pieces of tape that held in the metal Apple logo, and we're just going to put these on here. Doesn't really matter where you put them, just so long as it kind of helps to hold in the LED light. After that, we're going to put our battery back on, but don't reconnect it yet. We want to set everything else up first before we do that. So now on the screen, there's actually a small piece of tape that is sitting on top of the connector that we're going to use to light the LED. It's essentially what powers the screen. So we are going to have to scrape this off. You can do it with your fingernail. It might take a little bit of time, but you want to reveal the 3 metal connectors that are underneath. This is where we're going to attach our LED to, and what'll happen is this means that whenever the screen lights up, the LED will light up. If the screen dims, the LED will dim, so on and so forth. When you're done, it should look just like this. Now we can reconnect the screen by pushing down these little Lego-like connectors back onto the motherboard. Then we're going to replace the metal plate and put back in the 5 screws that were originally holding that down. Then you're gonna take the tiny piece of foam that came with the kit and you're gonna make it like a T on top of the light kit's top cable. Literally just perpendicular at the very top of it. And then we're going to push that carefully onto those 3 metal connectors so that it now covers all 3 of those. Then we're gonna take the other piece of sponge and stick that on the side so that it's kind of like a piece of tape holding in the right side of that cable, so half on the cable and then half on the back of the screen. This is gonna create a little bit of insulation when we now add the final piece, which is this large piece of electrical tape that we're gonna stick on the back. Now, if for some reason this doesn't work when you start turning it on, chances are this is your problem. Either go get another piece of electrical tape, maybe your own, it doesn't matter if it didn't come with the kit, most people have it laying around, and just make sure that this is entirely covered because it needs to be completely insulated in order for that LED to grab the current and light up. Finally, when that's done, we can reconnect the battery and then put on the metal plate and screw that back in as well. Now you notice there is a little piece of extra cable coming out the bottom of the battery. You're just gonna wanna fit that wherever it'll fit basically, down here at the bottom and tape that down with another piece of tape. Then we can set our screen back down very carefully and slowly run your fingers along, pushing very slightly in order to get it to pop back into place. Just be careful that you obviously don't crack the screen while doing this. Then all we need to do is put in our 2 bottom screws again and then turn the phone back on. And when we do, it should light up just like it does on a MacBook. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please thumbs up it or share it. It is greatly appreciated. And don't forget to click the link below to check out my blog. You can also follow me on social networks at @dkogan or @theunlocker. And as always, thanks for watching.